Well, hello, this is Mike from Music City, and welcome to our second installment of what we're calling Great Forgotten Records. You might be surprised this one is not as old as the first one I showed you. The first one I showed you was way back in the 70s. This one is in the 21st century, and it is from somebody who is no doubt one of my favorite artists, and the sad thing about it is you may never have heard of him. And this is the gentleman named James Maddock. James is a ex-Brit who has lived in New York City since 2003. I've been fortunate to see him live many times. He's one of what I always jokingly, I don't know what I call him, the New York City Mafia, New York City rock and roll mafia. But there's four guys that for the last 10 years or so have been playing regularly, mostly around the New York City area, and putting out great records. And they're all rockers. And James Maddock is one of them. And the other three are Willie Nile, Garland Jeffries, and Jesse Malin. And four artists that I just think are just fantastic. And I'm an ex-New Yorker, and I love the chances, the fact that I've gotten to go home and see them play live a few times. But let's get on to James Maddock. And I first discovered James listening to WFUV on internet radio. It's one of the best stations in the country. It's freeform radio, plays, just, a great mix of good progressive rock, classic rock, alternative rock, just folk, country, just good, great music. It's sort of reminiscent of the old WNEW-FM that I grew up listening to back in the day. And as a matter of fact, Dennis Elsis, who was at WNEW, is one of the main disc jockeys there at WFUB. And you can get him on the internet. They're NPR, but they're music all the time. And I first started hearing James Maddock, and the record that's going to be our Great Forgotten Record today is his debut solo record, which is the fantastic Sunrise on Avenue C. Now, just a little bit of background on James. I mentioned he moved to New York in 2003. He actually has two records out that came out, one in 1982 and one in I'm looking here at 88, that I can't find them. They're on Discogs for a lot of money. I've never heard them. I don't have them. I'm going to continually try to find them. But the first thing he ever did come to prominence was with a band called Wood. You may have heard about them. This goes back to 1999. They had a hit song called Stay You. That I think was on the charts and was on quite a few TV shows, and that's James on the cover. I'm curious if that's the original cover, if they put him on that, or if that's a reissue. I'm not sure. But anyway, so but there's a 10-year gap between that and this, and I heard this on the radio, and it just absolutely blew me away. It is just such a fine record from track to track, and and Maddock's been active. I mean, here's a whole slug of releases that that I've got. I've picked up every one. He's got a new one out. He's done a lot of couple of these are Pledge Music or Kickstarter. I'm not sure which one he is. Where he's raised the money to put the record out. And really, I think if you get started with Sunrise on Avenue C, you're going to wind up picking up all these other ones. And as I mentioned, James is a touring artist. Who makes most of his money probably from live shows. And he's obviously not playing now, so go to his website, jamesmaddock.com. When I tell you more about this, and when you hear a couple of snippets, you're going to want to go get it and go pick up a couple of other ones. I mentioned I've seen his live shows several times. He's got a hardcore group of fans, and I don't know how to say this other than just let's mention the fact and not suppose why, but he has a big hardcore crowd of older women. And I mean, I got to meet these women, and they're at every show. They're just hardcore fans. They just love them. And it's not that they swoon over them or anything crazy like that. They just love him, and I don't blame him because he is fantastic. And not that, men don't dig him too, because I certainly do. Anyway, so now the thing that really got me on this record. And let me go somewhere else first. I'm going to make a very bold statement that I made before in my blog about James Maddock. This record came out in 2009. If this record came out in the late 70s, 75, 6, 7, 8, James Maddock today, well, except for the pandemic, would be playing Madison Square Garden in New York. Because believe me, I think his talent very well could have risen to the level of the people who made it back in the day, like Springsteen and Billy Joel, and Jackson Browne. I'm going to tell you right now, I think James Maddock is that good, and he's just a victim of the times that it's kind of hard for a singer-songwriter of his style to break in 2009. Now, the song that I kept hearing on FUV that blew me away is this song I'm going to play right now called Chance. And Maddock's out on Spotify if you want to try before you buy. Let's listen to a little bit of Chance. And again, we're going to play on my computer. And again, another plug for my Atom audio speakers. They're studio monitors. They sound amazing. If you listen to music on your computer, spring for it and go pick them up. They just sound fantastic. Here's a little bit of the lead-off track on this record, and in my opinion, the greatest pop song of the 21st century, Chance. He didn't make it to that great chorus. What a great song. And James was really got known in New York by playing at a club over in the Lower East Side called the Rockwood Music Hall. And you know, I was really glad to get him to see play there because that was his home turf. And got to talk to him after the show, and I just said, James, I mean, I tell you something. I think I might have said Chance is the greatest pop song of the 21st century, and he was so happy to hear that. And he said to me something like, yeah, I really got it right on that one, didn't I? So I was excited about that. But a lot of great styles on this record, and that's one of the things I like about it. I mean, the title track, Sunrise on Avenue C, you know, let's hear a snippet of that. I'm going to kind of move it up to the beginning a little bit, but, you know, kind of more of a ballad-like song. Listen to it. Very dramatic song, kind of reminds me of a little bit of Jungle Land-ish. She rises from the ground, climbs the rail, and pulls that shutter down. Here comes the chorus now. She got a kiss for me. The village is a symphony. Where else would you wanna be? It's sunrise on Avenue C. Sunrise on Avenue C. Again, this record is just chock full of great songs. Check out James Maddock. Spend a little time on Spotify, like I said, try before you buy. And then here's our great forgotten record of the day, James Maddock, Sunrise on Avenue C from 2009. As I mentioned, whole slug of records here. There's actually a couple of live ones too. There's one called Jimmy and Emmy where he plays with David Immergluck as his musical partner. David used to be in John Hyatt's band. He's a fellow from Holland, great acoustic guitar player. There's one live at Daryl's house if you want to check out the live version of him. And plus, just a great collection of studio work. So that's our pick for today. I hope you enjoy it. Hey, do me a favor. Hit the subscribe button. We're creeping up there on subscribers. I'm trying to get up to that magic number 1,000, which will open up to a lot more viewers. And hit the like button to share it with your friends. And again, thanks for your time today. This is Mike from Music City.